Oh my gosh. Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Gonna do something today that I don't know why, but I've never done before. I think it's a good idea, knock on wood, but surprisingly, I've never done this before. Just arrived here in New Melones, right in the background. It's just about 2 o'clock. We're gonna get on the water, of course. Kayak is rigged up, ready to go, and we're gonna fish till dark. Now, New Melones is a pretty hefty drive for myself, so got a campsite about a quarter-mile away. So we'll pull out after dark, get to the campsite, have some dinner, go to sleep, and then wake up tomorrow morning real early, get out there and fish that morning by early morning, low light conditions till probably about 11 or 12 o'clock. Just kind of a big whirlwind of fishing, putting a night trip or an evening trip and a morning trip together. One thing I was not expecting, or at least to this degree, wind. It is pretty breezy right now. I mean, it's still fishable, but throwing topwater, stuff like that on glasscom water right now ain't gonna be a thing. So I'm hoping the wind dies down this evening, maybe around 6, 7 o'clock. And also, a couple videos ago, you guys may recall, we were here at New Melones for a Yakabass event. Really tough event. It's a little disappointing though, because this time of year in the summer, I really look forward to coming to Melones, because usually the topwater bite and the jig bite are just on fire, and that was definitely not the case for the tournament weekend. Bite absolutely shut down, so felt like we kind of got cheated. That is the other part of the equation. Oh, and also one thing before I forget, as you can see, we got the Gyro shirts back in stock. These are the sun shirts. I apologize to a lot of you guys who've been sending me message emails, stuff like that. Been really busy, really delayed in getting these back in stock, but right now they're back live on the website. I will link them in the description below. SPF 50, got the cool Gyutaku artwork right here, imprinted tags, custom tag right there. Comfortable summer shirt for fishing, so I've got that on today. But other than that, a couple days of fishing, or a couple of half days of fishing. Take you guys with me, we'll see what happens. Well, waves are a little suspect out here. I don't think we're gonna be throwing topwater out in this stuff. Just kind of making my way towards a protected area, or somewhat protected. But before we get there, you always got to try fishing in this stuff, right? Definitely see fish on the graph. Problem with the tournament, or when we were here about a week, 2.5 weeks ago, just catching a lot of small ones, and the bite was funky. They weren't biting. You'd have to work for those fish. Everything we found in practice pretty much went away on tournament day. Finally. There we go. I knew I'd seen him on the graph. Still better. And what I would have given last week to catch that fish right there. These keepers, or these 15, 16 inches, were so hard to come by. Of course, right now it's 2:21, the tournament's over. Or it would have been over. So it could be a time of day thing too, but that fish either doesn't bite or it's a 5-incher last week. Let's see. Oh, that was so crazy. Oh man, I had one come up and smoke the Krej. A good one too. I always say that, it's crazy, and that's not crazy. That's what I'm supposed to have happen, right? I'm supposed to throw a bait out there and I'm supposed to get bit. I think just the crazy part was I was working this like a wake bait real fast, right under the water. It almost looks like a fluke or something. And I saw that fish come up and smoke it. I don't know how he didn't get a hook in him. Very surprising. There we go. Well, bluegill. like the Krej as well, if anyone was wondering. What the heck? It's weird. It's so weird. The little ones up there. Dude, there's big ones up there. Oh, I thought that was a giant. I thought that was like a 3-pounder. They're in the mud line, which is something they weren't doing last time, which was surprising. There was a good mud line. That's the beauty of fishing, right? You can never really predict it. You can always just have an idea. They're really eating it. Rooting around for crawfish up there. Who knows? Oh, one got on the way down. That means those are suspended fish. It's a good one. Or it's not a micro. See, that's kind of the trouble with catching these fish out here. So a lot of the time they'll just be schooling around. Like, you can't just like find a spot with fish. At least I can't. Choked it. Yeah, but unless you got like forward-facing sonar, or you're just really good at fishing for those suspended fish, you're not gonna really just get on them. It's gonna be stuff like that, at least for me, where it's just complete luck. It's probably a fish out there chasing, or I don't even know what, but I threw it out pretty far, pretty deep, and that fish got it 7 or 8 foot down. So I would assume that's a fish in a school chasing bait out there. Good thing though is there's definitely a bite right now. I think this is, look, it probably is a school of fish. The same size largemouth, surprisingly largemouth. Well, no complaints so far. Thought I maybe would have to wait till like 5, 6 o'clock for that bite to turn on. And this wind area is maybe helping a little bit. Ooh, it's actually not that bad. I thought it was a dink again. Oh god, jiggy, huh? Dude, where were these fish the other week? These are really good kayak bass, like long and skinny. Well, long is really the only part that matters. Guys are so weird, so weird. Yeah, I've got one. Chaser. Well, they're biting everything today, so it seems. A largie. Common water. Oh, first cast. You can tell these fish are in a different mood today. Alright, starting to catch those fish from last weekend. Yikes. Well, they definitely want the little ones want the crankbait. Oh, he's not actually that bad. A fat little guy. Dude, look how fat this fish is. That's a meaty little dude. That's a little softball. That was a, oh my god, there was a giant that just came up and missed it on the paws. Oh my god, that was a giant. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Oh my gosh. Oh, giant. As soon as I stop that bait, oh, there's some fish down there. I just missed a big one on a topwater and missed one on the Krej. It's like they want to come up and smoke it. That was when that bait was just subsurface, working it like a wake bait. Oh, dude. Oh, it's right behind it. Oh my gosh. Why aren't you getting the bait? I think I figured out the cadence with this thing, at least today. I gotta like burn it in and let it fall. Like burn, 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 then let this thing sink backwards like it's intended to do. Got it that time. Oh, that's a little one. Seen a couple of big boys come up on this guy. Man, where'd the big ones go? There was a group of big ones right on this point. I'm telling you, I just think that's what happens. Like those bigger fish, they're in schools right now and they just kind of come up and feed and then go back down or move on or something. Well, I kind of got what I asked for, right? Topwater and jig action. Oh. Stinker. That's a good one. Stay on. Better one. Oh, popped off. God, I should have loosened the drag a little bit. Silly me. Of course, I'll land the little ones all day, right? Feels better. See if I can keep this one on. Let's net him. Oh, that wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I think he got bigger. Dude. Oh. Come here, buddy. Oh. There we go. That's the one we're looking for. I swear I've used a net in my life before. That's one of the right ones. On the Krej. Thank you, sir. Yeah, finally ran into a good one. Up shallow. I mean, you know what? I've had a couple of okay ones. They just popped off or missed the baits. 6:21. Got a couple more hours of daylight. The wind hasn't let up, so might have to just deal with it tonight. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? A little after 8 o'clock. Got off the water a little bit earlier than I thought. Really, that wind was just wouldn't let up. Called it a little bit early, and you know what? It's okay with me. Beautiful evening. It's actually not too hot. Some nice shade over here in the campsites. I think it'll be a nice night to do a little sleeping in the truck. Basically just staying here to sleep here. Getting up super early tomorrow morning. Actually, I gotta set the alarms, get some coffee ready, but getting out tomorrow, fishing, probably till about 12 o'clock, and then getting out of here. I'm actually kind of surprised I've never done this before, because it just seems like it would make sense in the summertime, especially if you're going to a place that maybe it's just a little too far to make a day trip. It just kind of seems like that'd be more efficient time-wise than, say, getting up at like 2 a.m., making the drive to get there and launch at first light, fishing until you're baked in the sun until 2-3 o'clock, and then getting home at 5 or 6. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if anyone else does this, but I kind of dig it. You know, if all goes smooth, I might do this a few more times throughout the summer, maybe try some different places, maybe Shasta. I don't even know. There's a handful of places that are definitely in that 2.5 to 4 hour range that I think it'd be cool to do an afternoon trip, evening session, and then go out the next morning. But no, tonight, windier than expected. Caught some fish though. That was really what I was hoping for. I kind of just played around. We started off at that one island, caught a decent spot on a jig. I think I had a couple more on the jig. Caught a lot of small fish, you know, the small fish, and that was the thing. A lot of these fish were definitely a lot more active than last time, so they're eating a lot of stuff from the jig to the Krej. Caught some crankbait fish, even a few topwater fish. Man, I had a couple nice ones miss the Chapo and also the Krej. On this one point, it's like those bigger fish just kind of swim around, they school around these points or wherever, and every so often they'll come up and smash your bait, and then you think, oh, well, there's a pile of them right here, and it's not the case. They just dip back down or move on, so you have to take advantage of those opportunities, and I didn't take advantage of those, but kept fishing. I don't know if it was the bite or maybe the cadence. Changed up my cadence from working that Krej like a wake bait, almost like a fluke. You reel it in real fast, kind of darts around, and then you kill it, but the Krej actually slides backwards, and I was getting a lot of followers and a few bites doing that, even lost a couple, but later in the evening I changed it up to just like a traditional jerkbait cadence, and that seemed to do a lot better, catching a lot more fish, or at least getting a lot more bites. Caught one good one on it, so that was good. Net job was suspect, but you know me. That was pretty much the evening, and figured before I let you guys go, I know you guys have seen it before, but figured I would show you little tour of the truck setup. It's nothing special, trust me. It'll take about 46 seconds. This is one of the cool things about this situation is I've got the dynamic dolly with a hitch adapter, got the Titan X 12.5 on the back, and I don't have to like load up or do anything or put stuff in the truck. I just keep it on the dolly, go from the ramp to here, real slow of course, so everything's pretty much on there. I did take the motor off, that's the only thing I took off, but yeah, just keep all my rods here, tackle, gears, all pretty much good to go for tomorrow. I think I've showed it off a couple of times, but this is the custom tackle trunk. Usually just keep a big box, like a deep 3700 box in here. Fits a ton of baits. I mean, I've got everything in here that you could want. I like the open space too. I mean, you could use the dividers to customize it how you want, but I like using it because it's deeper and you can put some bigger baits in there. You can put like top waters. You can make some like kind of square compartments for spinner baits, underspins, and then all jigs in here. And yeah, just kind of randomness in there for the most part. That's pretty much my go-to tackle box for the kayak when I go out because you can fit so much in there. Did bring an extra box just in case they were on like a swim bait bite or really chasing. Got some Nessies in there, some cull shads, little baby Nessie. Have that just in case. Of course, big waters, drank my Gatorade. This side is divided by this guy right here. All my soft plastics, worms, jig trailers, swim baits. Oh, this middle compartment right here, terminal tackle. Just use a little 3500 flannel box to have my terminal in there, pretty standard. And extra A-rigs. Keep an extra A-rig in the Cal Coast bait sack right here. Just a good little spot for an A-rig. This is kind of like miscellaneous as far as things I'd want at the ready. Sunglasses, of course, gloves, got a radio, which is more for the ocean, Kleenex, extra line, got a little headlamp in there. I do have a scale, just in case, you never know. Pretty much it for that. Everything else is just good to go on the kayak. Got my little chair right there. Oh, and here is the house, the mobile home. You can see I'm not the most organized with these trips, but got these screens with the magnets. I've showed them before, but I'll roll the windows down. I'll put these on the windows, turn a fan on, get some airflow. Oh, go around to the other side. Got my backpack, which is basically just like phone chargers, extra batteries, stuff like that. Brought a cooler with me. Got a couple of things in here, not much, but gotta have a couple of beers. little lunch for tomorrow. Dinner tonight, possibly. A sub from Safeway. And then I got some pineapple. Keeping it real simple. I mean, I'm not really here that long, so I don't really need that much. Here you can see the bedroom. So the nice thing about this truck, which I've had for, geez, like 10 years now, is the center console folds up so I can sleep in the front seat. Go around the other side. It's a little tight, just a little tight. I can't fully extend, but it definitely works for a night or two. Pillows here. I've got my USB fan here. It's actually portable, so it charges via USB, but if I want to keep it running all night, I can plug it into this guy right here. This is like the portable generator, the power pack, heavy duty power pack that has USB outlets. It's got AC on the other side. Can plug in things like a coffee maker, which that's key for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Got some bug spray, some water. Nothing fancy. It works for a night. Yeah, guys, that is going to be the first part of this video. Hopefully the bite's a little bit better tomorrow. Hopefully the water's a little more calm so we can throw some top water. Yeah, day of fishing, little truck camping. Cheers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. There we go, folks. Good morning. 5 a.m. The wind's died down a little, but it certainly isn't flat. Come on out here. Right. Still got him. Little guy. On the claw. A little better, actually. Let's back her up. Oh, good one. Good spot. Try to get his momentum coming up towards the boat. That's a big one. It's a pretty one. Look how pretty that fish is. Look, all his buddies with him. Thank you, sir. See, that fish hit it before it even hit the bottom. That's how you know those better fish are just suspended, schooling around, not really sitting in one place. Another one. Off that same cast. Ooh, sorry, dude. Same cast. Another one. Damn. Didn't even have to do like a small one, but well, not as small. I'm liking this jig, dude. Liking the jiggy. Man, I don't want to jinx it, but I think there's a bunch of fish here. You guys are fun fish to catch. Ain't no question about that. Oh my gosh. Finally. Jeez, how many times is it gonna take? There's some fish here, guys. There are some fish here. Let's mess around with them. Well, what do they say? 10th time's the charm? I don't know if they say that, but it certainly was the case right there. Man, oh man. Dude, I got them all fired up now. Now they're starting to bust. Thank you, sir. Dude, there's a bunch of fish here. As long as they stay in this area, I think we're in good shape. Kind of good, I think, as far as maybe keeping these fish here. The water's not like super clean here. Like, it's probably only 6 to 7 viz. I'd say if it was like super clear like other parts of the lake, these fish would spook and scatter, but hopefully this water clarity and whatever it is here kind of keeps these fish around. I mean, it's like weird. I don't know what to throw right now. Should I go back to the jig? Should I keep throwing the top water? Rig? Even like a worm? I'm sure a worm would work, right? Kind of reading their mood depending on how far off the bottom they are. They're hunkered down or a little bit closer to the bottom. I think the jig's the right thing, maybe, but if they're more suspended, probably top water, the rig, stuff like that. Oh. Big one. That was a big one. Okay. Damn, I mean, there's a bunch of them here. It's been a while since I've actually been able to sit on a school of fish where they're actually biting. They are munching. They are munching. One bad thing about the rig is you inadvertently put a bunch of hooks in the fish. Well, they have to be eating a little tiny swim bait if they're going to eat everything else, right? It's like a good problem to have. I don't know what to throw. You know, little guy. I think the A-rig's the most productive bait. This one doesn't feel like I got it. Oh, came off. I mean, everything's getting bit, but definitely the highest percentage of bites have been on the A-rig. It's honestly about as simple a bait as you can throw. Just requires a lot of assembly and terminal tackle and baits. Pretty much throw it out there, let it hit the bottom, and reel it back in. Oop, had a little one come and get it. You can kind of pop it and twitch it too, make that A-rig kind of puff out a little bit, but right now I don't think that matters too much. I'm going to be grateful for every single one of these fish because they could leave at any time. They really could. They could just follow a big ball of bait somewhere down the way and I'll never be able to find them again. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, just about 12 o'clock. We are off the water, and that is going to conclude our little adventure, our 2 half days of fishing. Again, in the beginning of this video, like I said, something I've never done, and I don't know, I might have to consider doing it again. It was a lot of fun. I mean, if you have the time in an afternoon and then the next morning, I think it just makes sense. You guys saw what happened yesterday, a little bit breezy, of course. Caught some fish and then got up nice and early this morning. Surprisingly, did not have any luck, didn't even have a single bite on topwater all morning. I tried a bunch of stuff, kind of was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, just fishing a lot of points, humps, stuff like that. High percentage areas where maybe I could get an early morning topwater bite, but just never really happened. And thankfully, sooner rather than later in our little half-day excursion, came across something that I have not come across in a while, a school of fish. A school of fish that actually stayed put. They were in this like 50-yard little stretch. First clue was throwing that jig out there, having it get bit on the fall, which again to me means that you're catching fish that are roaming around suspended, chasing bait. They aren't like traditional jig fish where you're dragging on the bottom. And that actually happened a couple of times. A couple of decent spotted bass. It really didn't take too much longer to realize there was a bunch of fish there. I mean, the graph was lit up anywhere from 25 to 5 foot of water. The topwater bite there wasn't the greatest. I think a lot of those fish had to be active and busting bait closer to the surface to actually get a topwater bite. But man, we had a pretty cool one on that little jaywalker. I don't know how many times that fish, or maybe it was a couple of fish, whiffed the bait, but I think it was like 4 or 5 times before one actually got the bait. So that was our topwater fish of the day. The bait that did a lot of the damage, or most of the damage, was surprisingly the A-rig, and that's like 4 trips now in a row where I've caught a fish on an A-rig, and today was definitely the most productive bait. Got some pretty ferocious bites on the rig. A lot of fun just to set back into them, feel the fish almost take the rod out of your hands, and yeah, just a lot of fun on that one little school of fish. Milked it for a few hours, and that was it. Here we are. That is going to conclude this trip, almost a 24-hour trip. Again, new Gio shirts restocked in all sizes. These guys will be linked in the description, but that's going to do it for today's video, guys. As always, I thank you for watching, for coming along, and I will see you guys in the next one.